you're probably watching it right now. For those of you who are not part of the chakra series and are just getting this is a part of a chakra series. And today we are focusing on the 6th chakra, third eye center, AJNA. So if you're doing this class and you don't know anything about the chakras, no problem. Just come in, enjoy the asana, the physical practice of it. For those of you who are in the chakra series, this is part of the work, part of the embedment of our series. So I hope everybody has a beautiful practice. You are going to be needing some blocks today, a strap, a blanket, or a pillow, and as well as a candle. We're going to start with actually a guided candle meditation. So I'm going to come to sit on a block, raising up my pelvis, knees coming forward, wearing my indigo color. I'm actually just noticing I have a hole in my tights to go along with my technology issues. That's okay. Mercury's in retrograde, so everything is kind of crazy right now. So I'm just practicing my yoga off the mat and really surrendering to it all. Okay, let's start. We are going to grab a candle, light your candle. Depending on the type of candle you have, you might have a candle sitting on a holder or a candle in a jar like mine. You want to be able to see the flame. So if you have it in a jar, you might actually be looking down at it. If you have a candle that isn't in a jar that's sitting on a holder, you can look straight at it and have that candle at eye level. So whatever is best for you. Before we get into that, we're going to clear our energy like we have been doing in all of our chakra series classes. So we're going to start with our Kudoko energy clearing. We're going to start with one hand on our shoulder, pulling across our body, throwing that energy away, taking it over to the other side, same thing. One more time, just releasing anything that we're holding onto, cleaning our vessel today, our energetic vessel to get started. Taking your hand, coming into our thalamus thumb. You can use a fist, the front of the fist, you can use the top of the fist, or if that feels too much for you, you can tap. Just coming across the collarbones, across the chest, between the breastbone, or on the breastbone, between the breasts. Just tapping into the thalamus, which is great for helping to boost our immune system, the T-cell regulation. This is also a great energy clearing, a great thing to do where maybe like me, you're having one of those days, or if you've had an argument or you're feeling some anxiety, a task coming up, a negative interaction with somebody, just helping to discharge that. A couple more minutes here, or not minutes, seconds. Tapping again across, down, and then eventually just bringing one hand onto the heart, other hand on top, dropping the gaze, closing the eyes, just centering yourself, taking some nice deep breaths in and out. Noticing today how you're feeling physically, your mental, emotional, your energy level, what you're needing out of your practice today. Just taking a few breaths here, really connecting with yourself. I'm gonna blink the eyes open. We're going to come into our last clearing. We're going to find the piriform bone right here at the bottom of our hand. If you draw a line down through that pinky finger just to the inside, I do a couple of rub ups just to kind of find that tender spot, that area, that pressure point. And then you're going to press down really hard, and then you're going to start to tilt the hand towards the floor. So that pinky finger coming towards the floor. Fingers spread wide, back and forth. Nice big breaths. This is great for a brain dump. Great thing to do before bed. If you have that monkey mind, that active brain, this just helps clear that out. So a little back and forth here. And then eventually coming all the way back up, you're gonna grab the skin, pull it away from the wrist, make a fist, roll it out. One direction and then the other. Okay, same thing other side. Drawing that line down, coming right into the piriform bone, giving a little bit of rubbing, finding the tender area. You really want to dig into there, spread the fingers, and then start that moving back and forth. And then eventually coming to stay upright, pressing a little harder, releasing that, grabbing onto the skin, making that fist, rolling it up. This is great if you have arthritis, if you have any wrist issues, just a little tractioning, a little space. Awesome, and releasing that. Okay, coming into our candle meditation, you're just going to bring that candle in front of you. And just looking down at the flame, we're going to take more of a yin perspective today. So not closing the eyes, but just bringing those eyelids down, making a little slit, really kind of softening the gaze, softening the awareness, looking at that flame, feeling the heat, the warmth of the flame, looking down at the mat, the wax melting, and just centering yourself on that beautiful flicker. Just centering yourself in your body and your practice now. Starting to rest into the sense of peace. Feeling safe. Taking in the warmth of the light, that gentle flicker, that primal feeling of fire, the warmth, the safety, the security of it. Just feel yourself relaxing as you watch maybe the beautiful patterns of the light dance. And as you see that wax melt, just think about any tension, any stress in the body melting. Then you're going to take your right hand and you're going to take your middle finger, and I want you to bring it right between the brows, right at the center. You're going to just slightly pull the skin up and come about an inch above, and you're going to press into our third eye. And think about your finger now sinking back into the brain, about 2 inches back, right where the pineal gland would be. You're just going to hold this for a second, still looking down at your candle. And you're going to release the finger, but you're going to feel this area lit up in the brain. And you might feel it pulsating or almost lighting up. And the pineal gland helps us to actually process light. So hence the candle meditation and just kind of taking that light in. And light comes in through our eyes, and then it's reflected back out, creating the vision, creating what we see, the imagery. And when we think about this third eye, this area of the 6th chakra, AJNA, this is our command center. This is the area of our highest sense of vision, our soul perspective. So just think about what that means to you as you're looking down at this light, bringing it in, reflecting it out. This is the area that we see beyond form. We start to see the patterns of our lives. We see between the lines. This is where we stop taking things so personally and we develop a different perspective, a whole brain perspective. We get the eagle's eye view. We elevate our consciousness. This is really subtle work, the third eye, the sixth chakra, but it's important work. This is where we start to raise our vibration and we start to see how we co-create with the universe. So it's beyond form. We start to see the themes of our lives. We see, a pattern of forgiveness or a pattern of betrayal, a pattern of shutdown. We might even start to see the archetypal patterns of our lives. We see ourselves as the healer or the lover or the teacher, maybe the trickster or the jokester. Maybe it's a pattern of being a victim or the perpetrator or the king or the queen. And when we start to see these larger pictures, these larger themes of our lives, our soul perspective, we start to get clarity and understanding. We start to frame the world in a different way. Consciousness is really interesting. So that sixth chakra is developed during puberty, anywhere from 12 to 17. And this is the lens that we see the world through. And this very often comes from our family of origin, our childhood. So if you think about it, like, do you see the world as, or do you see the glasses half empty or half full? How do you see the world? Are you an optimist or are you a pessimist? And this is kind of how we see. It's the lens that's been put on us. And as we start to tap into that higher chakra, into the sixth chakra, into AJNA, we can start to change the lenses, change the perception. So we're here just a little bit longer, just looking down at the candle, feeling that warmth, feeling that flame, developing our wisdom, our clairvoyance, our imagination, our knowledge, our discernment. These are the themes of AJNA. The shadow is illusion. And very often, if we have issues in the sixth chakra, we've had a trauma. Maybe what we saw is not what we were told. If we grew up in chaotic homes, alcoholic homes, chemical dependent homes, there's been an invalidation of intuition. Maybe as a child, you were very imaginative or creative and that was shut down. Maybe you grew up in a household where there was gaslighting, you weren't told to trust your own inner knowing. Very often people that come from environments of violence or war have issues in this sixth chakra. And the addictions that are associated with it are hallucinogens as well as marijuana. And like I said, this is our area of establishing personal identity, our perspective, who we are, separate than our parents, but with the lens of our upbringing. And at this stage, we're able to perceive some of the greater patterns in life. I'll give you an example. Maybe you broke up with a person, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and at first you think it's their fault. And then later on, you're in another relationship and you see those same patterns starting to play out, and you start to realize that maybe you are part of this dynamic. And then by the time you get into the next relationship, you're able to shift that dynamic. That is AJNA working. Okay, 3 more breaths here. Nice and big and full and deep. We're going to use a lot of imagery and imagination today. So really staying lit up right in that pineal gland. Okay, our last exhale, just move that candle off in front of you in a place that's not going to fall over. We're gonna sit up nice and tall. Inhale, take our arms up. We're gonna flip our palms, press them up, reach the arms up to the sky, drop the shoulders down. Get really weighted through the waist, through the hips as we're reaching up and over. Keeping the hands as they are, we're gonna tilt over to the left, stretching out the tissue down that right side, expansion through the right side, contraction through the left. Then we're gonna inhale up through center, exhale up and over, other side. Kicking the rib cage out, reaching, expanding. Inhale all the way up. We're going to take those arms out in front. Bring the shoulders up to the ears. Round the back body, chin into chest, reaching away. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, arms all the way up to the side and down. Next, remove anything underneath your bum. We're gonna switch, having the other leg in front in our Sukhasana. From here, we're gonna start to fold forward, expand out. Now, this is where your blocks come in handy. You can bring one block on the ground, other block on top. You can stack them in whatever way that's gonna support through that third eye. So letting that third eye rest on something. So you might need to stack a little bit underneath you. You can even use a blanket and then the block on top of the blanket. Resting that third eye down. And if it's accessible for you, just turning the palms up open to receive. And we're just gonna close our eyes here. Today's a much slower class, very yin light. Just allowing the body to rest and settle. And as the body starts to open, maybe you can come in a bit deeper into the posture. Breathing, connecting with yourself, connecting with that sixth chakra. Beautiful. From here, we're gonna walk ourselves all the way up. We're gonna take those hands behind us. You're gonna press into the hands, fingerprints point towards the bum. You're gonna squeeze the shoulder blades together, let the head fall back, opening up through the chest. Bend into the elbows, come to sit all the way back up. We're gonna extend the legs out now in a V. And just take a moment and turn those toes in and out, rotating up into the femur bone. Back and forth, just bringing a little bit of motion, a little bit of rocking in. And then eventually turning those toes up towards the sky, just seeing if you can maybe get a little bit wider. You might want to take some of that tissue out from underneath the sit bones. Reach out through the heels, pull those toes back, start to fold forward, coming all the way back down. That third eye resting on your block, on your blanket, whatever's in front. And just resting, relaxing here, dropping the shoulders. We're not forcing the body into any posture. We're allowing the body to open. So with the sixth chakra, we're doing very subtle work. So use that imagination. Imagine the body like the wax starting to melt, starting to soften with the heat of the breath and starting to form, right? So, or melt into a new form. As the body's taking its new shape, we just start to rest and relax. Using the breath to open up, to release. So when our sixth chakra is balanced, we are connected to our intuition. We are very intuitive. We're perceptive. We feel into our hearts, into our bodies, into our guts. We have a strong imagination. We can use visualization, creating dreams for ourselves, for our future. We have good memory. And we're able to remember and access our dreams. When we're deficient, we may be insensitive, disconnected. We may struggle with our vision. We have poor memory and cognition. We have difficulty seeing the future or imagining alternatives. We get very linear thinking. It's one way is the right way belief. We can't remember our dreams, and we're often in denial. We can't really see what's going on in our lives. We might be told by other people things, but we can't see it. We're stuck. If we have an excessive chakra, AJNA, we might have hallucinations, delusions, obsessions. Mental illness might live here. We may have difficulty concentrating, ADD, ADHD. This is psychosis. So these are the areas that can be affected through AJNA. Let's take 5 more breaths here. See if you can come a little bit deeper, only if the body allows. Really resting that head down, softening through our eagle eye perspective. And then we're going to bring our hands underneath us, and we're slowly going to come up. You're going to bring your hands at the back of your knees, drag those heels in, feet on your mat, hands behind you, and we're going to windshield wiper. Back and forth. Dropping our knee down, that internal, external rotation. As the knees come over to the right this time, we're going to drop them down. We're going to take our right hand behind us. We're going to tuck the tailbone under, really stretching now into the hip flexor, up into the psoas. We're going to lift the bum cheek and we're going to expand, extend, reaching back with that left hand. Coming into a back bend, arching the back, breathing, opening up the front body. And then we're going to sit our bums down. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, take them over, dropping that knee down. Tuck the tailbone under. Start to feel that hip flexor lengthening. We're going to take it up, squeezing the bum cheek. You may stay here, or if you want to find that extension, you're going to reach up. Big breaths in and out. Beautiful. Circle it down. Bring those legs back up, and we're going to come into our next posture. We're going to start with the left leg extended. We're going to take that right foot to the inside of the thigh. We're going to let the knee fall up. And again, you can take any tissue out from underneath you. So we're going to start with the chest long, straight, and you're bringing that heart towards that knee. We're going to start to fold forward. And maybe today this is your depth and you just stay here. We're going to work on flexing those toes back and spreading them wide and really pulling up through the quadricep muscle. Now, if it feels good for you, you might bring that third eye down onto a block, reaching out, resting in here. Now, if a block is too high for you, you might gently grab onto the foot and come all the way down. So you're picking the level that's best for you. Feel free to stack blocks if you need to, a blanket and then a block. Get yourself comfortable. We're here for a little bit. Taking those nice deep breaths in and out. So last week we worked on Vishuddha, the throat chakra, and we did a lot of back bends and a lot of opening through the throat. Now that we're in the sixth chakra, AJNA, we're starting to fold forward. More of the forward folds, really calming of the nervous system. And we're working on that visualization. So you might visualize the body melting like wax or butter as we soften into the pose. You can picture the color of the sixth chakra, indigo, and you can picture that color infusing your body with your breath. Like we have in other classes, you can picture the actual wheel, the chakra spinning clockwise up towards that pineal gland, moving. Just taking some deep breaths, really staying connected to your body, staying connected to the softening. We're slowly going to walk ourselves up, and before we switch over to the other side, we're going to come into a side body stretch. So we're starting to build on this. You might want to bring a block to the inside of that leg. We're going to turn and just open that knee up just a little bit, still flexing through the toes in that dorsiflexion. You're going to bring a forearm down onto that block, or maybe you're able to bring it onto the floor or a blanket. Your hand is going to come behind your head. So that right hand is right at the back of the skull. And you're going to rotate the elbow up towards the sky. And you're going to start to bend, coming closer towards the leg, really opening up through the side body into the TFL and QL. Reaching and breathing, pressing the skull back into the hand, pressing the elbow back into the wall behind you. Opening, breathing, again, visualization. So you might want to picture yourself, that eagle perspective, coming out of the body, looking down at yourself on the mat. And if that serves you well, you can practice that. Or you can stay embodied and feel into this. Feel the shape of your body. Feel your breath. Feel into the tension, the tightness, and then clearing that out with awareness, with breath, with the shape. 2 more breaths, staying heavy through that right sit bone. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, coming all the way back up. We're going to take our left hand over the knee, right hand behind, sit up tall, and then just look over that shoulder, giving yourself a little twist. Circle all the way back to the front, and we're going to switch sides. Hand comes to the back of the knee. You can straighten yourself on your mat, drum out those hamstrings, and then switching over. So left foot's going to come to the inside of that right thigh, moving any muscle or tissue, grabbing any props you need to switch over now to the other side. Toes flex back, sitting up tall, turning the heart towards the thigh and engaging through that quadricep muscle. Just starting to fold through the hips. This side's going to probably feel very different than the other side. So we meet ourselves where we're at on this side. Starting to breathe more deeply as we release. And you can bring any props in you want to really get into that brow center, resting and relaxing the head down. We hold a lot of tension through the third eye. So today, not only are we opening our bodies, but we want to open this center, our command center, our highest consciousness, the soul perspective. So maybe as you're here breathing and opening the body, you can start to think about how in your life can you open up this higher consciousness, this higher perspective. Some lifestyle suggestions is doing creative things, music, art. And if you're not artistic, maybe you get an adult coloring book and you start to practice coloring. Guided meditations, visualizations, manifesting, vision boards, soul collage, journaling. These are all ways to help us get out of our head, out of the thinking mind, out of the human form, and come into the soul perspective. It's doing more of what we love. And that journaling is so huge. Pen to paper, whole brain function. But a lot of people get triggered. They don't know what to write. They maybe have had trauma over school or writing issues in the past. As your body softens, you can come a bit deeper. So they get caught up in grammar or spelling or not doing it right. But just free. Just let the psyche rift on the paper. You can always tear it up or burn it. You don't need to share it. But it's a great way to open up that third eye, to get more perspective on a situation that you might be struggling with. Okay, very slowly we start to walk ourselves up. And then we're going to set up, now moving into our second posture. We're going to open. So we start to turn the heart away from that right leg over to the left. And we might need to open that knee a little bit further. Still flexion in the toes, dorsiflexion. Your forearm's going to come onto your block or maybe onto the ground. We're going to take that hand behind us, right to the back of the head. We're going to spiral open as we start to fold up and over. Pressing the head into the back of the hand, elbow into the wall behind us. Folding and breathing, staying heavy through that left sit bone and opening up the left side body. Feeling that command center lit up. So you're either staying really connected inside the body, inside the sensations, some visualization, maybe with indigo color, tension melting away, or maybe you're coming out of your body, looking down, giving yourself an observer perspective. The sixth chakra is about creating space, learning to respond versus react, giving us that time and distance. So honoring emotion for sure, but not getting swept away in it. We feel it to heal it, to release it, but we do it in a way that we're not lashing out at others, hurting them or ourselves. Let's inhale, come back up, turn back, or actually let's take our twist. So we're gonna cross that right hand over the left knee, sitting up tall, looking behind us, still reaching out through that leg. And then we're gonna circle all the way back. Let's drum out those legs. Beautiful. Before we move on into the next section, let's just come into a reverse tabletop. We're gonna bring our feet about hip width distance apart. Hands are behind us, wrists underneath the shoulders, chin into chest. Open up that chest, press into the wrists, get nice and broad, big breath in. Exhale, press down through the hands and the feet. Lift up nice and high. Knees are staying parallel, not collapsing in or splaying out. Keep that chin into the chest, looking down. into those hip flexors. Beautiful. Drop the bum. Wrap your hands around your shin bones. Curl back. Inhale, sit up tall. Pull those shoulders down. You're gonna cross the ankles. Hands come down, wrists parallel with the top of the mat. We're gonna step up and back, coming into our downward facing dog. So just pedal it out. Take a moment here. Spread the fingers, press the knuckles down. Feel into this, visualize what down dog looks like and create that in your body. Opening up through the calves, through the Achilles, through those hamstrings, ears between the arm bones, pushing the hips back, turning the head side to side. Beautiful. We're going to bend the knees and we're going to step forward with our right foot. Now this is where you may need your blanket for your opposite knee. You can always fold your mat over. So we're just going to bring that foot down, or that knee down, and we're going to come all the way up. I'll back up so you can see me on camera here. And we're going to push back, coming back, sitting up nice and tall in our low lunge. So we're going to start by dropping those hips down, just letting this knee slightly track over the toes, taking a deep breath, really feeling this through that hip flexor. And then we're going to pull our chest back, pull our pelvis back, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take our forearm over the thigh, other arm up and over, and just give ourselves a little side stretch here. Inhale, come up. You are welcome to stay here. If you want, you can bring the hands onto the thighs, working on getting some length from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Or you can bring your hand behind you, grabbing the top of the foot, pulling the heel into the bum, and then just leaning forward ever so slightly, getting a nice quadricep stretch. You can even take the other hand behind you, working on that balance. Breathing, opening the chest. And then slowly releasing that foot all the way down. We're going to pull ourselves back. We're going to frame our foot. We're going to lift the knee and we're going to step on back, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Come into a stationary dog. Take a couple of breaths. Bend your knees. Step forward, bringing the opposite foot, left foot forward, bringing that blanket or folding the mat on the right side. We're going to come up nice and high, hands on the knees. Again, just letting those hips settle, the knee tracking between the first and second toe. Check in, notice what this side is feeling like. Press into the knee, pull the hips and chest back, tailbone down, crown of the head, that nice long line through Sushumna Nadi, that central channel. And then we're going to cross over, forearm on the knee, taking that arm up and over. Big stretch. Reach, breathe, feel into the rib cage, feel into the hip flexors. Lots of hip flexor work today. Inhale, come back up. You are welcome to stay here. Again, pressing into the knee, really working on that length. Or you can take that hand behind you, grabbing the top of the foot, pulling the foot towards the bum. Starting to come forward, maybe bringing the other arm behind you. Big breaths. Skull pulling back behind you. And then very slowly releasing that foot, bringing the hands down to the ground, stepping up and back, downward facing dog. You can just move your blanket off. Take a couple of petals. We're going to set up for our pigeon pose now. So slightly coming forward, bending those knees, taking that right knee, right wrist, and then extending left leg back. Now you do have your blanket here, so you can tuck that under your bum, or you can even take a block underneath. We are going to find something for our head today, really working into that third chakra. So let's just sit up tall, puff out our pigeon chest and feathers, and let the hips settle. Look over your shoulder, make sure that leg is coming straight back behind you and you're resting on the top of your foot. You're going to square off your hips, take a deep breath in. Exhale, you're going to start to fold forward, coming down. Now, we want to rest that third eye on something. So a block or blocks, depending on how much height you need, or maybe stack fists, or maybe down on the mat. Get yourself nice and comfortable and just resting and relaxing here. Really allow your body to settle into Mother Earth, drawing on her strength, her grounding, her possibility, her persistence and perseverance. And this is where you might want to bring a mantra in. Some ideas for that sixth chakra is I'm open to all the wisdom within. I'm open to all the wisdom within. I can manifest my vision. I can manifest my vision. I see all things with clarity. I see all things with clarity. So you can choose one of those or come up with one of your own. And just repeating that silently up in mind's eye. Maybe even thinking about what manifestation means to you. Dreaming possibility. Feel free to make any micro adjustments you need. And just keep breathing into this beautiful opener. Softening through the third eye. Softening the jaw. Really contemplating these themes or working with your mantra. Working with the affirmations of AJNA. Okay, very slowly start to walk yourself up. You're going to roll over onto that right hip. And you're going to take your left leg and swing it all the way up and over. You're going to point both sit bones to the ground and anchor them. We're going to come into a twist. If this bottom leg is in your way and you can't get your sit bone down, you're going to straighten the leg. Sit up nice and tall. Feel yourself rooted and grounded. And then we're going to take that right arm up and over. You're going to place the elbow on the thigh. Left arm's going to come behind you. Pull your belly button to the spine. Find your length. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, you're going to start to twist away from your knee. Use your muscles first and see how far you can come on your own. Then you're going to sit up a little bit taller. Take another breath in. You're going to use your elbow against your leg and twist it out. Really wring it out. Wring out any stagnation, anything that's kind of left over. Just get rid of it. Really clearing out the vessel, clearing out our limited beliefs, clearing out any negative energy so we can fill ourselves with positive, with potential, with possibility, with our visions and our dreams. Okay, release that, circle back to the front, take it over to the other side, find your length, then twist. And then coming all the way back, uncross the legs, we're gonna step back into our down dog. Coming back and just pedaling it out, taking some nice deep breaths. Bend your knees. You're gonna slide that left knee, left wrist, right leg straight back behind you. You know the drill, square off, settle. Puff out that chest, look behind you, make sure that leg is straight back. Use whatever props you need. If you find your shin bone is more parallel with the top of the mat, please make sure there's flexion through the toes. Take a deep breath in. Now on your exhale, you're gonna fold your body down, resting that third eye center down on the ground. And really feel that third eye melting. Feel the pressure of the weight of the skull against whatever it is you're rested on, and soften into it. Feel that command center lighting up. Visualize it. Taking air into the body and giving it back out, working with your mantra. Working with visualization, working even with dreaming here, daydreaming. Getting curious. Do you see the patterns in your life? Are you always the victim? Are you always the perpetrator? Are you always the funny person, the jokester? And there's no right or wrong, it's just deeper learning about ourselves. Are you the mother? Are you constantly mothering everyone? Are you the lover? Are you the wise woman or a man? And as the body softens, just make any adjustments you need to accommodate the new form. And then very slowly walk yourself up. Sitting up nice and tall, just rolling over onto the side, taking that back leg all the way around and up and over. Placing that sit bone down, maybe releasing the bottom leg. Let's just sit up tall here, give ourselves a chance to anchor, to root. And then when you're ready, left hand comes up and over, right hand behind. Sitting up tall, big breath in. And then out. As you use your muscles first to twist. Take another breath in. Let it out. Come around a little bit further. And then slowly releasing. Arm up and over. You can do a little counter twist. And and release. We're gonna come onto our backs. We're gonna do one more little exercise, and then we are going to move into a guided meditation, which will lead us into our Shavasana. So have your strap, your dog leash, your scarf, your tie, whatever you're using nearby. And then we're gonna come to lie down on our mat. I'm facing this direction just so you can see what we're doing. Let's start with our right foot. So we're going to take that strap around the arch of the foot, and the left foot can be bent, sole of the foot on the ground, or you can straighten that left leg out, flexing the toes up towards the ceiling, really anchoring down through that femur bone. We're going to take the tails in either leg, toes are flexed back, and we're going to just gently start to pull that leg in. The femur bone is coming into the hip socket, and we're working on strengthening the back of the knee. So you might be here, and that might be where you're at today, and that is perfect as long as that leg is nice and straight. Try to keep those shoulders away from the ears and just breathe. Reaching up through the heel, pulling down through the toes. Bringing the tails together. Bring the tail into your right hand. You're going to start to open up this leg, and your hand might rest on your hip just as a reminder to keep that hip down to the ground. You're going to open the leg up, still reaching out through the back of the knee, really working on stretching those ligaments and tendons. Shoulders away from the ears, chin into chest. Big breaths in and all the way out. Let's inhale, take the leg back up. You're going to take the strap now into that left leg. Right arm is going to pin down to the floor, and you're going to just gently cross that leg over the body. You might even want to take your thumb into the hip crease and just kind of give yourself a little space. Working through that IT band and keeping the back of the hip on the ground. Couple breaths here. And then eventually taking that leg all the way over, coming into a nice deep twist. Roll the hips flat on the ground, bring that leg back up, bend into the knee, release and switch sides. So make a decision whether you want this right leg bent or straight. Bringing that strap now onto the left arch of the foot or even the ball of the foot. You're going to start to straighten up the back of the knee. Shoulders away from the ears, pulling down, reaching up through the heel, feeling that full length. Big breaths in and out. Softening through the jaw. Taking the strap now into the left hand, right hand onto the hip. Starting to open that leg up nice and wide. Still reaching out, so it doesn't matter how far the leg gets down. We really want to work on engagement through the quadricep muscle, which helps to release the hamstrings, and also locking out that knee, stretching the ligaments and tendons right at the back. Use your in-breath to bring that leg back up. Switching hands, remember this is the micro crossover, so you might want to dig into that hip crease, reminding the back of the hip to stay down, reaching out, just feeling into this. I've been doing a lot of hiking through the pandemic, a lot of movement of those ankles and small twitch muscle fibers, so this is feeling really good. And then eventually taking it across, anchoring the arm down, beautiful twist. Inhale back up, release the strap. Lower the leg. Give yourself a nice big stretch. Lift your lower back off the ground. Hug the knees in. Curl forehead to knees. Little bow. And then we're going to slowly get ourselves ready coming into our Shavasana. So get yourself comfortable. You can use some supports at the back of your legs, under your knees. You can use a blanket or an eye pillow. We're going to transition now into our guided meditation, visualization. And then I am going to play a little bit of music and bring you out of your Shavasana. So just get yourself comfortable. Get yourself in a place that you can ground. And if you do have something to cover the eyes, that's so nice, so you're not processing light through the optic nerve, but also a little bit of weight down on our third eye center, AJNA. You can even take your two fingers, your ring finger and your middle finger, and just gently massage into that space between the eyebrow, and then pull up and kind of push back. And just let that command center fire up, tapping into our creativity. And you can literally tap into this space. Just kind of a gentle wake up before we get into our visualization. Once you've done that a couple of times, just holding the space and then coming back into Shavasana. We're just going to focus on calming the mind with our breathing, allowing our breath to center and relax us. Breathing in and breathing out. Feeling the air come in through the nose, and then feeling the air go out through the nose. Just breathing slowly and peacefully. Just like in the candle meditation, we start to feel tension leave the body. Feel the muscles relax. And you just get more and more comfortable with each breath. Letting the breath relax you, giving over to Mother Earth, letting her hold you. As you breathe softly, gently, slowly. And soon the breath moves even slower, matching the tempo of the body resting on the ground. I'm going to access AJNA, the sixth chakra. I want you to imagine up in this area a place where you can completely relax. Imagine what this place needs to be like in order for you to feel calm and relax. And you can start with the physical layout. Where is this peaceful place? You might imagine somewhere outdoors or somewhere indoors. It might be a small place or a large one. Just create an image of this place. Who is in this place? Are you alone? Or perhaps you're with someone else? Are there people present, animals, birds? Are you alone? Do you have company? Let's imagine even more details about your surrounding. Focus on the relaxing sounds around you. Imagine any tastes or smells your place has to offer. Imagine the sensation of touch, including temperature or breeze that might be present. Just imagine these details in your mind. Colors, shapes, objects, plants. Is there water? Beautiful things that make your place enjoyable. To add further detail to this relaxing scene, imagine yourself there. What would you be doing in this calming place? Perhaps you're sitting, napping. Maybe there's sand or a hammock. Imagine yourself walking around or doing anything else you love to do. Just imagine the feeling of calm and peace, where you have no worries or cares or concerns. This place where you can rejuvenate and relax. Just enjoy being. For the next few moments, see if you can memorize the sights and sounds and sensations that are around you. So you know whenever you need a break, you can return to this place in your mind's eye. You can take a mental vacation, allowing yourself to relax and regroup before entering into your regular roles. Take a few more moments here, enjoying your relaxation, your peaceful place. Knowing that with the imagination, you can return here anytime you wish. I'm going to transition and put on some music. You are welcome to stay in your calm place. Or if you want to slowly come back out onto your mat, into your body, you can do that as well. start to bring yourself back into your body. Feel yourself laying on the ground, feeling the shape of your body as you rest here. Begin to deepen your breath. And then very slowly start to wiggle fingers and toes. Roll wrists and ankles. And give yourself a nice big stretch. Bend your knees, roll over onto your side. And then slowly make your way up to a seated position. We're going to bring our hands into prayer, Anjali Mudra. We're going to bring our palms right to our third eye center. We have clear thoughts. Palms to the lips, may we have soft words. Palms to the hearts, may we live with open hearts. We bow our head to our heart, connecting love and wisdom. We thank ourselves for this beautiful journey we're on, for the ability to manifest, to visualize, to create, to see patterns, to co-create with the universe a life we truly want, knowing it's in our power and up-leveling to that higher consciousness. Thank you so much for coming with me today on this 6th chakra, third eye center journey of AJNA. I'm deeply grateful. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Hopefully you will join me on Monday for the Family Day free class. I will send out the link this week. And again, sorry about not having the live Zoom class today, but it was still great to practice with all of you. Much love, much light. Enjoy this day. Bye for now.